My name is Aisha Knowles. I am the Public Information and Community Relations Officer for the Alameda County Fire Department. The Alameda County Fire Department does not provide service in the entire county. We have 29 fire stations and provide service within the cities of San Leandro, Dublin, Union City, Newark, the city of Emeryville, as well as the unincorporated areas in the county, and the Livermore Lab and the Berkeley Lab. So we have we're spread out across the county. We began using social media in 2009, and it really came from it came out of a large fire that a lot of resources from our agency were dedicated to. So the Coral Hollow Fire, I don't know if any of you may remember it. It was in unincorporated Livermore, and then it spread to San Joaquin County. And it was during a time in the state when the majority of the state was burning. And we actually had the largest fire that was burning in the state. And it was over 12,000 acres. And so I served as the information officer on that fire, and I found that a lot of information I was getting information later than everyone else because some of them were getting it via social media. So that's, our participation in social media was born out of that. We currently have one person who manages social media, and that's me. I am trying to get additional staff members to manage our accounts, but there's a little fear, which I'll explain later. And another thing I thought I would mention as part of this presentation is that we started social media in 2009. We initiated a social media policy in 2010, and it was approved this year. So maybe some of you can relate to an experience like that. So here's information about, so we use social media for emergencies, non-emergencies, sharing information about classes, trainings, awards that our personnel receive. Our settings are such that the public is able to post comments in response to something that we post, and they can also post a picture on our wall. They can send us messages. They do not, or to the best of our ability, we try to make sure that they're not reporting an emergency via social media. But we still we have room for improvement on that. So I provided a couple of examples of what we use social media for. So we try to use it to balance, the fire department, or at least how I approach our use of social media, is not like you see on Chicago Fire, which I hear all the time. And it's not like rescue me. So I try to portray a balance of our personnel, firefighters, the incidents that we respond to, and other images that you may not necessarily see on a regular basis. So here's an example that I was proud of. It's a picture from one of our fires that I just snapped, and then I lightened the color a little bit, and someone complimented the photo because they said it looked like it came from a professional, and I said, why, thank you. I didn't say that. When I'm writing for our agency, I am writing in a gender-neutral voice because I'm writing for emergencies and non-emergencies, which may not really impact some of your agencies, but in a largely male organization where many people refer to firefighters as firemen, or it still is the common term to use for firefighters is many use firemen. I try to, I use a gender-neutral tone. So on the right is an example of, and I don't know how many of you have your own Facebook page or manage your department page, but there's an element, I also manage a little bit of drama on Facebook. So this is from a public comment, but I posted an update about one of our strike teams that arrived safely to the Rim Fire this past summer, and so this is just part of managing social media. So if you're not able to see it, it says one individual says, "I'm sure those men will be taken care of." if you know what I mean. And another person says, be safe and save our forest. And then someone else says, thanks for the share. And for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, the comments are positive, or something that's manageable to respond to. And then, she goes back and says, oh, Rosie, it hasn't been shared. That's a major interest. She posted some additional comments that I hid, that I, didn't feel that were appropriate, but, we're sharing information. I thought it would be beneficial for you to see that. And so here are two other examples of things that we share. So, when I talk about a balance of, kind of the emotion of the fire department, the picture on the left represents that. It was after fire. There are different crews picking up their equipment and hose lines. And then on the right, so another thing that we use social media for is to share information about when we're working with another agency. And so two of our crews went to Arroyo High School and were with the deputies from the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, and they stopped and they were at a rally that we were invited to welcome home Ilana Santiago, who was a finalist on the X Factor, and is from San Lorenzo, so that was very exciting. So our department participates in Instagram. So the truth is we did a soft rollout of Instagram in December. It wasn't something that I really thought long and hard about doing. It was just, oh, well, let's try it, because we had so many people ask us, are you on Instagram? And I said, no, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and we name all of the others. So I like Instagram because it allows you to edit photos. The challenging thing is that sometimes I can get so stuck on editing photos. Should it be black and white? Should I use a border? How do I describe the picture? Because there are ways to increase the number of followers that you have. So these are examples, one with the Easter Bunny in Cherryland. Our labor group has their own Instagram page. And I was just going to, my last item to mention is that one of the first pictures that I posted on the left, no one liked it, but it doesn't matter. And here's just a snapshot of some of our equipment, or a collage that I made. And that's how you can connect with us.